This week, Rockstar is again handing out some pretty good bonuses. I think since Christmas, we've been getting some decent bonuses every week. Do you think perhaps Rockstar is seeing the light and actually giving us some joy until GTA 6 arrives? Yeah, well, me neither, but one can hope, I guess. So today I want to go over one of the quickest and easiest contact missions for Ron Jakowski, which is simply titled Base Invaders. I'm going to do this for two reasons. One, this week Rockstar is handing over 4 times the money in RP on all the Ron contact missions. And two, they're also handing over double bubble on the vehicle import-export business. What does this mean? Well, if you're a money grinder like me, you can basically alternate between these two and avoid the cooldown for the import-export business, all while making some very good money. And I'm choosing the Base Invaders mission because it can be done very quickly while also providing a decent payout. Now, if you're a complete newbie and have not yet reached level 27, you're not going to be able to run this particular mission. But don't despair, because there's other contact missions from Ron that start at, I believe, level 13. So there is that. And one last thing before we dive into the mission, and that's the payout. For all contact missions, including Ron's, the payout is dependent on 2 specific items. First, whether you select easy or hard mode at the start. And sidebar, yes, you should always select hard mode, as it's not going to make any significant difference, especially with this mission. And secondly, how much time you actually spend in the mission. You see, the longer you spend in the mission, the more money you'll be making. So this is going to be entirely a judgment call on your behalf. With a Base Invader mission, you can probably get it done in 4 to 6 minutes at the very minimum. If you do this, your payment will be around 40 grand with bonuses. My recommendation, however, is to prolong this to around 15 minutes. And I'll show you how here in a moment. Doing so will increase your payout to almost 80 grand. Plus, this will work out almost perfectly if you're splitting this with a cooldown in your import-export business. So, win-win. Okay, so let's get into this. To kick off any contact mission, you first need to select the options menu and then select jobs, go down to Rockstar Created, and then scroll down to missions. From here, just keep scrolling down until you see Base Invaders and select. Remember, you always want to ensure you're in hard mode. This is going to increase the amount you get paid in the end. After this, you should get whisked away and eventually end up in a map that has a waypoint at Sandy Shores Airfield. This is going to be Ron's White Vellum, and the game's going to want you to fly this to Fort Zancudo. So the whole premise is this. You need to go to the military base, destroy 3 jets, steal a cargo bob, and then fly it back to the airfield where you started. Pretty simple and easy. And it is. However, the first thing you need to know is that you do not want to fly the Vellum to the base. If it gets destroyed, the mission is over. Also, it's painfully slow. Instead, this is what you'll do. You first need to enter the plane and then exit. This will officially kick off the mission. However, there is a caveat here. If you find yourself closer to Fort Zancudo when the mission kicks off, simply go there first. Turns out you can complete everything at the base without having to actually get in the Vellum. But once you deliver the cargo bob back to where the Vellum is located, you are then going to have to physically get in the Vellum to start the mission. If that makes sense. You'll see what I mean here in a moment. Okay, so here's the deal. You can basically utilize almost any vehicle in your collection, as well as the Pegasus vehicles. So it's basically pick your weapon of choice. And I mean this quite literally. You can get this mission done with something as simple as an armored Kuruma, or, as you're seeing here, something with a little more firepower such as the Hunter. But before you go and start selecting your vehicle, let me pause for a moment and explain what's going to happen. As soon as you fire a shot, or get in a certain area of the base, you are going to get a 5-star wanted level. But it's not as bad as you think. The only enemy fire you'll be getting is from armed guards running around the base. But there are a lot of them. And once you leave the base, you will not get followed, as is typical with a 5-star level. So, when you're choosing your vehicle, you ideally want something that is armored, fast, fairly maneuverable, and has unlimited ammo. Preferably lock-on capabilities. My recommendations would be either the Buzzard, the Akula, or as you're seeing here, the Hunter. Again, although any road vehicle will work, it sometimes gets a little too cumbersome and messy. Okay, so once you arrive at the base, it's pretty simple. Just fly around until you've blown everything up. The key, of course, is the 3 lasers you need to destroy. But there's going to be so many other guards running around, you're going to have to just hold the trigger down until all the dust settles. The only thing you need to pay attention to is not getting too trigger happy around the hangar with the cargo bob. You'll notice that there are guards in that same hangar, but they're high above on catwalks. So just take your time and make sure that what you're locking onto is not near the cargo bob. And that's it. Once you've destroyed all the enemies, you can safely land and then steal the bob. Now, I will add that if you're going in with a lesser powered vehicle, say something like the Kuruma, your objective should be speed. Meaning, blow up the 3 lasers, head immediately to the hangar, and then steal the cargo bob. You don't want to be in a gunfight with the guards because there's just way too many of them, and it's going to get very ugly very quickly. For everyone else, though, I find it way easier, way more relaxing, and worth the extra time to use the terror from above approach with a helicopter. Remember, the key to making money is to stay in this mission for at least 15 minutes. And on that note, if you find you need to kill a little more time, no pun intended, what I'll usually do is land short of the waypoint, like you're seeing here, and then just go AFK for a while. Go for a snack, get some water, check your messages, just do whatever. And then when ready, head to the waypoint to end the mission. Also, if you did not get in the Vellum to start this whole thing off, you're going to need to do that now so the ending waypoint will appear. And that's it. Again, you can collect almost 80 grand from these missions, and when mixed in with your import-export business, can provide you with a great and easy source of second income. Alright, so that's it, my friends. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like this video and want to help out, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. Is anyone else going to be taking part in the Ron's Contact missions this week? Perhaps you have some additional tips and tricks of your own. If so, drop a comment below and let everyone know. Until next time, be happy, love, safe, on TV, the one Maestro.